Greetings, my name is James T. Griffin, and welcome back to the QuantumUnity of CARALOT channel. This is episode 2 of the podcast of the QuantumUnity of CARALOT. Remember, this podcast series is built upon the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty. So if you have not yet familiarized yourself with the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty, I highly encourage you to do so, because this podcast series will make much more sense to you. So the best ways to get yourself familiar with the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty, if you have not already done so: number 1, invest in the book Spiritual Sovereignty, A Path to Unity Consciousness. The link for that book is in the description below. And secondly, you can review the previous videos on this YouTube channel where I went into a high-level overview of the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty. I did that in a 10-video series where I focused upon 3 portals per video, so 3 times 10 videos equals 30 portals. So again, I encourage you, if you're not familiar with them, please familiarize yourself with the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty. So podcast episode 2, we are talking about one of the main factors of which why many resonate with spiritual sovereignty. And that is that we are taking the concepts of intuition, near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, afterlife communication, the paranormal and supernatural, spirit guides and angels, and synchronicity, and we are giving them official acknowledgement and recognition. So many of us around the world have experienced one or more of this phenomena, and many are not 100% comfortable in sharing their experiences. Well, in the QuantumUnity of CARALOT, this is our new normal. So let's go back to intuition. Now, intuition in the old system where we identify as only human and that we live in a world that's separate and solid, intuition has been a fringe concept and often referred to as our sixth sense. Now, if we identify with humans, yeah, it could fall under the category of our sixth sense because we put our 5 other senses, sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing, as our first senses. Well, in spiritual sovereignty and the QuantumUnity of CARALOT, that's reversed, because we do not identify as humans, because that's a very limited perception. And we are not a human, we are having an experience. So we are sovereign spirits from the spirit realm having a multidimensional earth realm experience, which happens to be within these human physical beings or these human costumes. We are not the physical being, we are not the costume, it's just an experience. We are sovereign spirits from the spirit realm having a multidimensional earth realm experience, and as sovereign spirits, intuition is our first primary sense, and our 5 other senses, as important as they are to navigate the earth realm, they are secondary. Now, intuition is a tree with many branches, and in the previous videos and in the book Spiritual Sovereignty, A Path to Unity Consciousness, we explored the many branches of the tree of intuition. So again, intuition has been a fringe concept in the previous old system of being only human and where everything is separate and solid. So in the new system, where it's the QuantumUnity of CARALOT and we are sovereign spirits from the spirit realm having a multidimensional earth realm experience, intuition is our first primary sense and it gets official recognition. It's not a fringe concept, it's our first primary sense. And many feel so grateful that spiritual sovereignty has given intuition such a high level of recognition and awareness as our first primary sense as sovereign spirits. Next, we have the concept of near-death experiences. So near-death experiences, there are thousands upon thousands of these documented experiences that go back several decades, perhaps even centuries, but at the very least, several decades. Many books have been written about near-death experiences, and near-death experiences provide very powerful and compelling evidence that we are not just only human, as we've been programmed to believe, but in fact, we are actually sovereign spirits from the spirit realm having a multidimensional earth realm experience. Near-death experiences very often happen when the physical being receives some sort of trauma, often to the head, can often happen in car crashes, in unexplained so-called accidents, which aren't really accidents, by the way, but they're actually experiences that have caused some sort of harm or trauma to the human physical being or the human costume. And us as sovereign spirits, during that time, the physical being is no longer alive. There's no heartbeat, there's no brain function. And us as sovereign spirits temporarily go back to the spirit realm, and we often meet our personal spirit guides, our loved ones that are already transitioned back to the spirit realm, which is our true home and origin, and even our animal loved ones, our loving pets that we've experienced deep unconditional love with here in the earth realm. So near-death experiences provides very powerful and compelling evidence that indeed that we are not the human physical being. We are not the human costume. We are not the experience. We are sovereign spirits from the spirit realm having multidimensional earth realm experience. And when I encourage others who have experienced these near-death experiences to share the details with me, they feel they're completely free to do so. And I said, remember, in the QuantumUnity of CARALOT, near-death experiences is recognized as real and valid experiences. Now, I don't wish a near-death experience on anybody because, as I previously mentioned, often they come with some sort of physical trauma, and I don't wish that upon anybody. However, they have happened, and they do provide powerful and compelling evidence that we are indeed sovereign spirits in the spirit realm. Now, there's a lot of commonalities with the near-death experiences, and a large majority of them are benevolent, they are loving, and they are a blissful experience. So again, near-death experiences, I highly encourage you, do some investigation on that, just as the QuantumUnity of CARALOT has done. And remember, we wrote about that in pretty great length in the book Spiritual Sovereignty, A Path to Unity Consciousness. Next, we have out-of-body experiences. Many are unaware that there are courses on how to, as a sovereign spirit, temporarily leave your physical being or your human costume and go either A, travel throughout the earth realm, or B, travel to other dimensions. So in a lot of militaries around the world, this is called remote viewing. And these military operations, they scan their so-called personnel or their soldiers who has more intuitive abilities, and they're set aside, and they are actually personally trained on how to leave their physical being and as a spirit go and gather information on other countries. One of the programs in the US military was called Project Stargate, and I wrote about that in the book Spiritual Sovereignty, A Path to Unity Consciousness. Now, why give out-of-body experiences official recognition? Because it's more powerful and compelling evidence that indeed we are sovereign spirits, and we do have the ability to voluntarily and temporarily leave our physical being if we so choose to. We do not have to learn this, but it is available out there, and there are many great training programs out there. So again, when I ask individuals, other so-called sovereign spirits, about their out-of-body experiences, they love telling me about these experiences because they often don't feel comfortable telling anyone about them with the possible repercussion of ridicule, or they're being called crazy, or they're making things up. In the QuantumUnity of CARALOT, to talk about this is our new normal. Another great reason why many spirits are waking up and realizing spiritual sovereignty is a great path to organized unity consciousness. So after out-of-body experiences, we have afterlife communication. So many of us have experienced messages from the afterlife from our loved ones, and it could be our animal loved ones or human-based loved ones. They, no matter what form they take, they are spirits as well. And animals, by the way, in spiritual sovereignty, they're recognized as sentient spirits. So just like us, we're all sentient spirits. Now, spiritual sovereignty, we are sovereign spirits. Sovereign means multidimensional freedom, but let it be animal form or human form, sentient spirits is what brings them to life. So I want to emphasize that, and I'm going to be touching upon that in an upcoming podcast episode of Animal Consciousness as Sentient Spirits. So I have received many messages from my loved ones in the spirit realm in my dreams at night. I've also received messages from them from other sovereign spirits who have our natural ability of mediumship, who can pass upon messages from our loved ones to us at the full regular level of waking consciousness. And I wrote about this in pretty great detail in the book Spiritual Sovereignty, A Path to Unity Consciousness. So many who I talk about afterlife communication, and they feel comfortable sharing with me the details about their experiences. They love hearing how spiritual sovereignty is giving official recognition to afterlife communication, more powerful and compelling evidence that indeed we are not wholly human, we are sovereign spirits from the spirit realm, having a multidimensional earth realm experience and temporarily visiting this earth realm with a divine life purpose. And after afterlife communication, we have spirit guides and angels. So there are countless stories of spirit guides and angels providing divine intervention when many have needed it. Often it's a so-called life or death situation where they may lose their physical life and go back to the spirit realm. However, angels or spirit guides come and somehow, some way, they're able to intervene and save the life of the individual of which they're providing their spirit guide services to. So many books have been written about this. Many have had experiences with angels and spirit guides, and they love talking about it, especially with me, because I give it official recognition. It's normal. This is our new normal. The QuantumUnity of CARALOT and Spiritual Sovereignty, this is our new normal. And I've had some personal experiences of which I will share in upcoming podcast episodes. So again, spirit guides and angels, and why do they intervene? And why can we communicate with them and they can communicate with us? Well, ultimately, we've come here with a divine life purpose, and we can ask them for guidance and inspiration on how we can best fulfill and optimize our divine life purpose, which is the main reason why we chose to come here to the earth realm as sovereign spirits. We're going to be talking about our collective divine life purpose and our individual divine life purpose in upcoming podcast episodes. So after that, we have the supernatural and paranormal. So the supernatural and paranormal, it's a very fascinating concept, and I've experienced a lot personally myself. Sometimes it's pleasant experiences and sometimes it's unpleasant experiences. Generally speaking, mine have been pleasant and neutral, and sometimes others experience some unpleasant experiences. So there are reasons why the supernatural and paranormal are experienced. And in the QuantumUnity of CARALOT and in the book Spiritual Sovereignty, A Path to Unity Consciousness, we explore why these happen, and there's certain things that we can do to clear those energies. And sometimes we need the help of other sovereign spirits who have experience in clearing these energies. So we're going to be talking about this in greater detail in upcoming podcast episodes. I'm really looking forward to that one. Very, very fascinating. So the QuantumUnity of CARALOT and Spiritual Sovereignty gives the supernatural and paranormal official recognition. And after that, we have the concept of reincarnation and past lives. So many have had past life memories. I know many who incarnated to the earth realm, and since they were a young child, having that experience up until their adult life, they have their past life memories so fresh and so powerful, it's as if it just happened the day before. So many children incarnate, and as soon as they speak, they're able to share their past life memories with their parents. And often parents, when they're not familiar with this concept, they don't exactly know what their children are talking about. But the evidence is strongly pointing in the direction that they are sharing past lives. And those sovereign spirits who are in children form, who have only been to the earth realm for a few years in this lifetime, they are still more connected to our source and the spirit realm, and they naturally have these memories. So this is a very deep well. I have a background in hypnosis, and past life regression is a big branch of hypnosis, and that's going to be explored in great detail. Now, I do not have any direct past life memories personally. However, I've met others throughout my life who have given me direct details, very firm, clear details on their lives they had with me. I will share those in an upcoming podcast episode. Very, very inspiring. And naturally, after that, we have the phenomena of synchronicity in the holographic interconnected earth realm of energy, frequency, and vibration. Synchronicity is virtually everywhere. I experience synchronicity often multiple times a day, and I've had some major, major synchronicities that I will share in upcoming podcasts. And some conversations I have with other sovereign spirits talking about synchronicity, we go on for hours and hours because it's an endless conversation because we just experience so many in our lives. So synchronicity is often experienced when you've been thinking about someone and they appear in your reality shortly thereafter, and you did not do anything with any effort to reach out to them. Now, there's so many examples of synchronicity, which we'll talk about in upcoming podcasts. So what Spiritual Sovereignty and the QuantumUnity of CARALOT have done is we've taken these fringe divided concepts of intuition, near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, afterlife communication, paranormal, supernatural, out-of-body experiences, past life memories, synchronicity. So all of these experiences are given official recognition by by Spiritual Sovereignty and the Quantum Unity of CARALOT. And because we're giving them official recognition as our new normal, many are so attracted to Spiritual Sovereignty and the Quantum Unity of CARALOT because it's a place they kind of call home, and they can speak 100% freely about their experiences because this is our normal as sovereign spirits from the spirit realm having a multidimensional earth realm experience. So this podcast episode is just about reminding that the Quantum Unity of CARALOT in Spiritual Sovereignty is giving official recognition, putting these formerly fringe concepts, giving them the recognition they deserve and putting them under one umbrella and giving them the recognition that they very much deserve. They all provide powerful and compelling evidence that indeed we are sovereign spirits and not just only human. So thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of the podcast of the Quantum Unity of CARALOT. Create yourself a beautiful day. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please do. If you feel these videos would benefit from anybody please share it with them, and please leave a comment. And if you can share any of your experiences in the comment section, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. So thanks again for tuning in. Create yourself a beautiful day. I'll see you in upcoming episodes. And as I always love to say at the end of every episode moving forward, always and forever.